think some kind of brain-machine interface that can give you cybernetic superpowers, I think, is probably good. It could, help people that have brain or spine injuries. Enable people who never spoken for years to speak again, which we've done. Give people eyesight who have lost both eyes of the optic nerve, or maybe have never even seen at all, blind from birth, by direct interface to the optical centers in the brain. You can actually restore eyesight, or give people eyesight that they've never had before, and you can enable people to walk again, which I think is profound. I mean, these are kind of Jesus level things, let's say, like when technologies are hitting like Jesus level miracles,
and some people taking issue.
Alright, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone Rule Well. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect. Alright, this video will be entitled Counterfeit Power. Elon Musk says brain C-hips is like Jesus level technology. Alright, fair use, fair use. This is only educational purposes only. Alright, making criticism and comment on this, right? Okay, and you see this man Musk now talking about this is like, Jesus level, powers, miracles, and basically, referring this technology to the Bible. And this is what they're trying to do. And they're bringing that MOTB to do it. Alright, having counterfeit power, alright, artificial power to to mirror the power of Yahweh Basham Yahushai, alright, the Most High, right? Okay, and it's really these elites, as you see, Musk is heavily a part of the Lion Wonders, okay, trying to make this BCI brain interface CIPS, I believe, basically that Neuralink, trying to make people walk, talk, see, okay, and this is the elites wanting control. This is what the MOTB is about. Control, worshipping the beast, the image of the beast. Alright? For people merging, they want people to merge, they want to merge, human with machine. Alright? Okay, and this is what it is, not for your benefit. Okay, it's for their control, their power. And to, overshadow the Most High, which they can never do. Okay, they are mirroring, they are, the counterfeit power, of the Creator, which they have, of the real power source, okay, which is the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son. Alright, so they're trying to access that spiritual. They're trying to access the spiritual access of the Most High, alright, to the saints, okay, the saints being Israel, okay, and, they want the Creator to be worshipped instead of the they want the creature to be worshipped instead of the Creator, alright, and this is the opposing the Most High, so, we're not ignorant of this, we know this, this is the they come in with deceivery, Lion Wonders, alright, and this is what it is, okay, so I have an article here, alright, this is from the People's Voice. Silicon Valley CEO warns humans who refuse brain C-hips will not survive coming human AI merger, okay, basically the image of the beast system, where without this, you cannot access the society. Alright, it's either you expel from the society, prison or death. Alright, this is how dystopian they come in. Okay, so I'll just take a read. It says human beings who refuse to allow Silicon Valley companies to implant a chip in their brain will be excluded from society. Okay, you could see this is the lying wonders, and you could also see, okay, that Revelation 13 and 16 prophecy. All right, without this mark, this charagma, you cannot buy or sell, and will not survive the major transformation. Okay, the new currency. Okay, you see, this is steps from where they go in. All right, this is gradualism and the thievery. Okay, they are the counterpart. They are the physical counterpart of the spiritual demon Satan. All right. Okay, it says of the coming human AI merger, according to a Silicon Valley CEO. Someone you work with will get it first. All right, and you'll hold on for a while, the way you did with the smartphone. You see. And we tell you this is gradualism, inch by inch, step by step, stage by stage, till this, he's coming on with great wrath, right? But eventually you won't, all right, put bluntly in his view, were on the cusp of the next major transition, the merger of humans and AI. Alright? This perspective, as dystopian as it sounds, because this is what it is, that's what it is. Alright, is commonly held in Silicon Valley Open AI CEO. And I think we could stop there. Alright? So you see, this is what it is. This is the counterfeit power, trying to mirror the real power source from Yahushua, that spiritual connection, that spiritual mark, from the Lord to his people. Alright? So, Slacky, and first I wanted to pull up, let's check out the meaning of, Slacky, let's check out the meaning of counterfeit. Fit meaning.
Counterfeit.
Made in exact imitation of something valuable with the intention to deceive or fraud. Okay, this is what this man is doing, a false Hamashiach, a false Messiah, one of the anti-Hamashiachs, anti-Christ, right? Because there are many, alright? Esau, Edom. Okay? So this is what it is. Faked. It's fake power. Alright, the imitation of the real true power, of the Messiah, right? The action of using something or something as a model. Alright? They're mirroring this off of the real model, alright, the real power. What Yahushua, the miracles, what he had pulled, what he had did, through the Most High. And, that's what it is, so his fraud is deceivery, is fraud, to make you comply to this system. Alright, so this is 2 Thessalonians 2. Slack here. 2 Thessalonians 2 and verse 4. It says, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called power, excuse me, above all that is called power, alright, above everything that's worship, every idol, he wanna oppose the Most High. He wanna be the second god or something, replace the Most High, and that's what he's trying to do with his system, alright, of that is worshipped, so that he as power sitteth in the temple of power. Okay, when they go into the word there in the Greek is naos, basically go into the saints of a Mashiach. Okay, of power, showing himself that he is power. Okay, so it's an opposition. This is Esau Edom, a man that was created, having the thoughts of, okay, pushing over the Most High and becoming the next God, Alright, this is what this man coming with. Okay. Alright. So let me just go in that word temple. Alright, told you already. I'll go in it. Okay, it's the Greek word slakia. It's the Greek word naos, I believe. Alright. Naos, okay. And basically, okay, a metaphor, the spiritual temple consisting of the saints of all ages, the Israelites, right? Joined together by Hamashiach. And this is what he want to oppose, he want to destroy. Alright, and that's what putting that, charagma in you. To destroy you, to make you become profane. Outside the temple, outside the connection of Yahweh. Okay, why Yahweh shy? But the elect not gonna be deceived by this slack here. Okay, they're not gonna take it and fall for the tricks. Of this lying wonders. All right, jump down to verse 9. Verse 9. It says, even him. All right, who is coming is after the working of Satan. Okay, it didn't say the spiritual demon Satan. It says even him, a man. Okay, the physical counterpart, of the spiritual demon Satan. Who is on the earth, with physical power, via his technology mirroring the Most High's power, to deceive you with lying wonders. Because once you be a part of this, you're gonna feel instant regret. You're gonna go down with this man and his system. All right. So this is what it is here. All right. So this is not no benefit. This is not no. This is really not no power or no value to you. All right. Okay. This is slack here. This is Job chapter 14. Slack here, not Job. Job chapter 13 and verse 4. Alright? But ye are forgers of lies. This is all lies. Fraud. Okay, deceit. Okay, this is not gonna help you, but actually disconnect you from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, from the Most High. Alright? Ye are all physicians of no value. Okay? They don't have no remedy, no cure, no power to heal your illness. But the Most High himself, the true power, where the true power source comes from. Alright? Okay, and this is what the men in the Lord and the elect are gonna receive. Okay? They're gonna, have that connection with Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai and have that standard, and defeat this man. They're not gonna rebel against the Most High. Okay, but these jakes who gonna be deceived and have that delusion on them, they're gonna take that and be destroyed. All right. So this is what it is. It's not for your benefit. This is Sirach chapter 14. Chapter 14 and verse 5. Okay, I'll read from verse 5. It says, he that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods. Okay, it's because he's not going to take pleasure in his goods. Not going to be good for you. Alright, but lead you to destruction. There is none worse than he that envieth himself, and this is the recompense of his wickedness. Alright, And if he doeth good, he doeth it unwillingly. Showing this as good, as he's thinking the Edomite there, Elon Musk. Okay, is it unwillingly? Okay, it's for your destruction, for their benefit, and for your control. Alright, for they to control you. Alright, and at the last he will declare his wickedness. Okay, once you take that, there's no coming back. Okay, they will reveal themselves. Okay, at the end. Alright, so that's what it is. So let me just get this. Alright, this is Revelation chapter 13, and read from verse 14. It says, and he deceiveth them that dwell on the earth. Alright, the people. Alright, the Jake, Israel. Alright, by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast. Alright, the system, okay, which had the wound by a sword, and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak with the AI. Alright, that's like the power, that's like their voice, instead of the Most High, talking to you, in your la'ab, your mind, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And this is what it is here, dystopian, austere, cold. Alright, this is how you're gonna have to receive this, but this is the deception behind it. Alright, so his whole system, that whole Neuralink is opposing what the Lord says to do. Alright, this is Exodus, this is Slakia, this is Exodus chapter 20 and verse 3, and this is, by the way, the 10 commandments, which it had more commandments than that, but this is the first commandment. Alright, what the Lord put out. Alright, Exodus 20 and verse 3 says, thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above. Alright, and this is what this man is trying to imitate, that power. But he really and truly can't. Alright, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. And this man is of the earth. Alright, the creature, trying to be more than the creator. Alright, verse 5, thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, Yahweh, thy power, am a jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me. Okay, and in this time now, okay, it have a non-elect, the unfaithful ones, the unbelievers, who are gonna fall for this deception, and go down with the image of the beast. Alright, at the end of the day, the elect are not gonna be ignorant of this. They're gonna stick to the true power source, to the Most High. Alright, so this is what this man want to do, is opposition of science he working. Alright, this is 1 Timothy 6 and verse 20. 1 Timothy 6 and verse 20. O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust. Avoid profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science, falsely so called. Okay, that's falsely so called. Alright, what this man coming with is falsely so called. All right, it is counterfeit. Okay, artificial, imitation from the real power. Okay, and they really and truly they can't copy the Most High. If you take this, you set for judgment. All right, slack here. So just bring this. This is Leviticus. Matter of fact, I want to make this lesson short. So just bring this. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse 19. Alright, it says, "What know ye not that your body is the temple of the Holy Spirit which is in you, which ye have of power, and ye are not your own." Alright, Israel is an inheritance of the Most High. Okay, so you, by doing that, you break in that inheritance, that covenant. Okay, and defeating the names here. You didn't stand up for the names, but the election are gonna stand stiffly for those names till the end. Alright, and be saved, and get salvation. Okay. This is 2 Corinthians 6 and verse 15. Okay, "And what concord hath a Mashiach with Belial?" Okay, as the NLT say, the devil. Okay, Satan. "Or what part hath he that believeth with an infidel?" Okay, infidel basically meaning not faithful. And those would be the 2/3 of our people, the wicked of our people, which will be persuaded and join this man's system and basically become an outsider, profane. The vessels will become profane to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Okay. "And what agreement hath the temple of power with idols?" Okay. Have none. Putting that mark Indian. You will make you, profane, as I said. Right, "For ye are the temple of the living power. As power hath said, I will dwell in them and walk in them, and I will be their power, and they shall be my people." Right? So don't fall for this, and the elect not gonna fall for this. Okay? So this is Matthew 24 and verse 24. Okay, "For there shall arise false Mashiachs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders." Alright? Okay, that false Mashiach, that false Messiah, Elon. Okay, Elon Musk. Alright, "Insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect, the election of Israel, which they will not." Okay, they will stand stiffly for the name of the Lord, and have devotion to the Lord down to this man's system. Okay, and they're gonna have victory with Yahushai. This is Revelation 15 and verse 2. "And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, the firmament, okay, up in the in the heavens, in the chariots, the chambers, and them that gotten the victory over the beast." Okay, "who stick to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, standing on the sea of glass, having the harps of power." So the election will not, be deceived, and will stay devoted, stand stiffly for the name of Yahweh by Yahushai. Alright, so Lord's willing, this video was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakah Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the hopeful elect. Wa Abad Babal and Shalom.